Gordon caught that.
Hey, welcome to episode 3 of Views from Drew. I'm your host, Brizzy.
That's too much.
Here are my guys. Here are my guys. Hey, we got, stretch him out, Chris. He got the plastic man. Safe sex is the best sex. We got Eric, my boy. And we got Dellz. How you guys feeling today out of 1 to 10?
You gonna stop this and do this shit over?
What the fuck is this? Is this a game show?
Are you on a 10?
Are you on a 10? I'm always at 10. I finally let it off. Yeah, I'm at a 10. Where's y'all energy at? Bring it.
Oh,
I'm at a
yeah.
It's too much.
Not on your level.
He said he let it off. What you let off? That sounds crazy.
I said I let off. Like I started it with the 10.
Oh, you started off with your 10.
Nah.
I'm gonna go with an 8 today.
Hold on.
Nice
We're not gonna start this over.
No, why?
We're not.
The energy's high.
Start over. Every podcast started over.
Meet me. Meet me there.
Okay, can I say something really quick? For those of you who don't know, we use the Zencaster platform to record this podcast. Eric, if you look down at the bottom right, there's a little area that says messages. You can type whatever is running through your brain regarding production or anything and let us know without having to say it out loud.
The bottom right. Hold on, let me do a message for you. Just to test it out.
Give him one.
Oh, wait. Uh-oh, I pressed the wrong button.
Oh, God.
Uh-oh.
Eric, can you hear us?
Yeah, but that's
all right, so how you guys doing?
I'm a 9.
I'm pretty good.
Yo, can you please just start it over? Like, this shit is messy. Like, we all over the place.
This is good energy, man. This is natural.
My guy, my boy.
My thing is, you knew he was going to start off with energy. Why does this surprise you every
knew
podcast?
He was going to do this.
You just like baffled when he does it.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm personally at a 9. And when I finish this beer, I'll be at a 9.5.
Hey,
boy!
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
32.
We're celebrating, Chris's birthday was on Saturday?
Friday.
Whatever the 14th was, I don't remember off the top of my head. I think
can't
Friday.
remember either.
Friday.
Was it Friday?
It was Friday.
Friday,
You
yes.
don't even know it's over. That's how we know we old.
Friday the 14th.
Remember our dates. But hey, what day did I turn that age?
I do seriously want to say 132 feels great. Thank you for wishing me a happy birthday, everybody. I appreciate that. And also on the 20th, a dear friend of mine, Crystal, is getting married, and I'm going to be at that wedding. Congratulations to her and her husband, to me, Shane. I can't wait to see you guys on the 20th.
We love you, Shane.
And Chris.
Is it open bar too? Is it open bar?
We love the couple.
Yeah, it's open bar.
Oh,
open.
Yes.
Can I come?
I love weddings.
Please. Eric, come on now.
I was the best man at a wedding.
I was going to go anyway.
No open bar there. I'm just going to say that.
So what are we doing?
How are you
feeling today, Eric? Where's your
I am at 6.5. I'm tired.
Tired of what?
Tired?
I'm just tired.
These niggas?
There's some good stuff happening starting this week, and we're getting a flow with things.
Got some good news.
Yeah, we ain't gonna reveal too much on the air, but congratulations, brother.
What's the good news? What's the message, brother?
Yeah, so I'm at 6.5.
Welcome back.
But the only reason I'm up is because I'm drinking caffeine.
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 Did you know caffeine stunts your growth?
Well, I'll reach. All right, you got it. But I'm good nonetheless. Overall, I'm good.
All right. It's time to get into it. You guys ready?
Did Dellz go?
Yeah, Dellz was the first one.
Dellz is an 8.
Oh, I'm in small. Okay.
Check that. Don't disrespect
8, mate.
that. Mm-hmm.
Always great. All right. So we're gonna start with the Tokyo Olympics. If you have not heard, athletes are being barred from wearing Black Lives Matter apparel during the ceremony, and pretty much throughout the entire event. They say that they like to, not encounter anything, make it political and keep it about the sports. How do you guys feel about it?
Well, if I could start off,
Go ahead, sir.
this isn't anything necessarily new. From the IOC, International, Olympic Committee. They've always been very critical of political stances or social stances during like the actual games itself. But to me, like on their part, they're kind of like inadvertently bringing attention to the cause because I think it'll just be like any type of like irregular action from any athlete will be cause for attention. Like, so it's like I don't think like the IOC is like self aware of what they're kind of like doing.
When you say irregular action, what do you mean?
Like for example, like I think the athletes will protest in ways that aren't necessarily covered by the IOC guidelines. For example, one of the things that I thought of, like I put myself like in the athlete's shoes, it's like, okay, if I'm at the medal stand and I win a gold medal, I don't have to face the camera, for example. And it doesn't say anything about that. I literally just have to stand at the podium. I don't necessarily have to, acknowledge the camera while my country of origin's national anthem is playing during the medal ceremony. So things like that,
it's going to get interesting.
I think it'll really get interesting. Yeah.
Eric, you got any feelings?
When this came up, this question, I thought about Colin Kaepernick, right?
Okay.
So I feel like no sports related, I guess venues or what have you, wants to be political, but the athletes make it political because you want to give attention to what's going on in the world, right? Mm-hmm. What Colin Kaepernick did, he sacrificed his career to make a statement, right? As far as Black Lives Matter and all that stuff. Like he purposely sacrificed his career to do that, to bring attention for people who are suffering, being killed, and a whole number of things that he was putting his name towards, right? What was it? When they was messing with the pipes, I forget what that was. When they was messing with when it was digging up the tribal land around
the pipeline.
Pipeline.
I can't remember the
XL pipeline.
He used his he was around with that. Like he showed up and showed his face with that too. So making these political statements, like I said before, as far as things that are going on in the world. Unfortunately, the institution doesn't want to make it political, but I feel like when athletes make a stance, that's important and it's needed. And as far as the Olympics specifically, not allowing athletes to wear Black Lives Matter like clothing or whatever to do representation, that's whack to me.
So,
but it is what it is. It's an institution. But what can you do?
I'm curious if that also applies to the Stop Asian Hate campaign. Like if they allowed him to protest that.
Yeah, like what's
like where's the line drawn? Is that all anything political, or is it just Black Lives Matter?
From what I read, and again, stop me if I'm cutting you off because Dellz has to go. I want to give him to give his thoughts as well. What I'm assuming is that it's all types of political stances. So it's like what they are expecting is the uniform. You get your medal. The national anthem plays. Stand on the podium, wave to the people, whatever have you, and then boom, next event, whatever or however it works. So I think it is all political stances, whether it be ones that we disagree with or agree with. From what I've read,
not that we disagree with.
You're right, of course, but in general, there are other political stances that we consider harsh,
polarizing,
whatever have you. Right.
Yeah. All right, Dell. How you feel?
I would like to say that I don't agree with it. My biggest thing with the news is, like Eric mentioned, there's people that's willing to sacrifice their careers for things like this, for movements like this, and not saying that doing that during the Olympics is sacrificing your career because it's just the Olympics once every 4 years. It's an honor to represent your country in the Olympics, but if you feel like your country doesn't represent you, then my thing is, as an athlete, do you go represent that country?
Message.
So that's what I would like to see. Like, and I believe that a lot of African American athletes bring a lot of gold to America during the Olympics. So I want to see how the athletes take the news more so than just hearing the news. Because like Chris said, this isn't new, but we are in a different time where everything is heightened and all these athletes say they are for the cause. And this is basically a test to them to let us know, hey, if they're really serious about it or not. And that's
I just want to add something. So this is the Olympics, right? So I think about how it's really dealing with people from all over the globe, more so international, people who are international. Yeah. So, for example, somebody from Africa, for example, who comes from, let's say, a third world country or suffering, a place that's really suffering, I don't think they will sacrifice their career, their money, how they're able to provide for their family just for this cause. Like people in Asia, people in India. And I think
you gotta
like these people have more to lose. And they don't want to, I guess, make a stance or bring attention to themselves, if that makes sense.
The way I see it is that if you are welcome to the Olympics, you are in a great position back home, basically. You're not just invited to the Olympics and represent your country, and you're not like a dominant figure in the area where you're represented. So it's not like if I say, oh, well, I'm from, let's say, South Africa, and I'm doing 400 meter, 800 meter. That means I beat a lot of people. That means I'm really, really great. So like based on talent alone,
right,
I should still have something to go back to. That's how I feel. That's how I look at it. If you sacrifice representing your country just for a year, it shouldn't be that big of a deal.
The reason I mentioned that was comparing again Colin Kaepernick, right? I know has nothing to do with the Olympics, but as a NFL player, he sacrificed his career. He hasn't gotten a contract to play NFL football anymore yet, right? He's still not playing.
That's because that's on him,
right? So let's look at it again. The Olympics. Let's say a soccer player, like you said, Dellz, even if they have that talent, like right now, if they was to come out with a big old Black Lives Matter flag and shirt and make let's say an advertisement on TV or something like that, or when the Olympics is going on, the ceremony, they stop and like halt that and do something to bring attention to say Black Lives Matter, to protest or cheer or whatever. I feel like they have more to lose compared to a Colin Kaepernick, if that makes sense. Like they're not gonna risk that because I'm using African as an example. Well, you come from a lot less. So if you was to do that, make a statement, you're really gonna lose bad. And I don't think they'll have opportunity to come back from that. Which is
I think we're neglecting the fact that a lot of countries don't allow their athletes to speak out against, the said country.
This is true.
I believe there was an instance that was,
but that's not
Colombia,
when
a guy was playing soccer for Colombia, and I think he missed the winning goal or something like that, or something like along those lines, and he went back to the country and they like killed his whole family or something like that. Fact check that. I'm pretty sure I heard about that.
That's extreme.
But a lot of these countries use these world events as a way to display dominance, and when athletes use it for something besides that, they don't take very kindly to it. Thankfully, we're in a country that allows us to speak out to an extent. Not everyone necessarily agrees, and the powers that be that are, I would say, mostly in control of things don't like it, and there is kind of like a blacklist thing that does happen, whether it's publicly or behind the scenes. But at least we do have the ability to say something verbally, out loud. But there are consequences.
I wanted to say, I wanted to say, I think Eric brings up an excellent point. One of the things that we do forget because we live in this country, we are afforded a level of privilege in comparison to other countries that are participating in the Olympics, for example. Like he mentioned India, for example, which does have a poorer, class or whatever have you in comparison to Americans. They don't necessarily get the opportunities that we get to even express themselves, the way that we can. Like you take China, for example, which is a communist country. We don't necessarily like Chinese athletes don't necessarily always speak against the government or whatever have you. We openly criticize the government all the time because we have that right as Americans. That's a privilege that we're afforded. Granted, we're not necessarily afforded all the privileges that all Americans, receive or whatever have you, based on the color of our skin, obviously. But we are given a level of privilege as far as like expressing ourselves and being able to have a platform, for example. And I think it's tenfold for athletes that are in the Olympics that happen to be American. We're allowed to be outspoken. We're allowed to give our thoughts or whatever have you. And just as like clarification, this has everything to do with the Olympic Games. Like during the trials, for example, all bets is off. If an athlete wants to speak out about something during the Olympic trials, they absolutely can do that. But I think Eric brought up an interesting point by saying that, some of these athletes may not want to speak out because, they have a lot more to lose simply because of the country of origin that they're from, Not that they don't care. It's just that, they have a lot more priorities, that are deeply personal in comparison to a lot of other athletes.
And a little background on that story I just told you guys about. It was a Colombian football player named Andres Escobar. He scored an own goal by mistake, and he was murdered by a Colombian cartel.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's unfortunate.
It ain't safe.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
A lot of it gets deep. But, we'll see what happens. I mean, we still got a little ways to go before the Olympics start. I'm personally excited to still watch. I'm really big on the Olympics
because of COVID.
I love
but wait, hold on. So you said we're talking about the Black Lives Matter movement specifically, right? So this has been going on for 6-7 years now that they made this a rule.
If not,
or are we saying just in general they can't make?
They just started this year.
Type of.
No, they just announced this rule.
They've been doing this for quite some time.
No, I'm saying that's not new. This is not.
You're talking about the rule.
This rule is not new though.
No, it's not a new rule. It's not. The origin of the rule starts, ironically, with the Black Power movement.
The Black Lives movement, which started, what is it, Trayvon Martin?
It goes back to Jesse Owens.
That's 2015.
It goes back to
Jesse Owens, correct?
It goes back to John Carlos and Tommy Smith. When they were on the podium, they won first and third place respectively, and they had on black gloves. Instead of holding their hands to their hearts, they raised a fist. So it goes back to that. I think I'm not sure. I would have to fact check it. I think it was either 68 or 72.
I think it's 68.
One of the two. I want to say it was 68. Okay. I'm not entirely sure. I would have to check it again. But
I remember seeing something about that.
Yeah, that was a big.
It was a very memorable picture. It's very memorable picture.
Yeah. I'll send you. I'll show you the picture and everything in the group chat and everything. But I think the whole like you cannot do like a political stance or a political protest of some sort stems from that. If I'm not mistaken, I would have to fact check it, but I do believe it. The origin of that rule starts from that.
Gotcha.
This is the first time I've heard about it, honestly, like out loud, I suppose. But maybe they're like reaffirming their position on political statements during the Olympics. But
I mean, it's a very heightened time, so they just want to, let people know, hey, don't do that.
Well, I guess while we're staying on the topic of how respective countries feel about I guess Black lives in a sense, I have another question for you guys. Without slavery, do you think that America is America? Still, in the way we envision that America is as it is today, or does that kind of type of growth or economic expansion, even innovative expansions, stuff like that, does that still occur in America, or is it more, I guess, spread out, or like is the world as we know it if without slavery?
Well, I mean, I guess I'll start.
Obviously, no, but
That's a very loaded question. That's saying basically if the white man never took over, to me, because because without slavery, historically speaking, black people are the more dominant race. So, will America be America? Probably not how we lived it,
as we see it now.
how we were told it was. But that's a given. But I don't see.
Yo, I do not want to respond to this, but yo, I have to. I gotta say
do it. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Nah,
man.
Listen, I'm gonna let y'all go.
But I don't see.
I think you might have.
Yeah, let's finish. Because I'm not gonna try to respond the way I did in the chat room, but I'm gonna try to keep it concise and not get too, riled up about it. But Dellz, go ahead, finish.
But yeah, so America's not America, and the second question was what? What's the second question? Does America start in Africa? That was the question.
Yeah, like I guess what
America,
I meant by does
America is America because of what it did in Africa. So I mean, without that,
without immigrants in America, America isn't America.
Right.
That's whether African,
correct,
Asian,
European,
any of them. They needed the labor from immigrants to make America what it is. They profited off of immigrants. Period. Eric, but I would love to hear your position on this right now.
We all
will. I believe 100% that America will not be America because like y'all spoke about slavery, right? So people was brought here by the white man, put it that way, and they wiped out the people who were originally on this land, which what we call them as Native Americans, right? Mm-hmm. If we look at the U.S. map of what it was before, different parts of the U.S., there was tribal people in certain parts of the U.S., and there was tribes that existed across the U.S., just like it always did in Africa, just like it was in Central America, just like I'm sure overseas in China, India is that way, right? So tribal people stay where they are, and because of slavery and the white man, they came here, they wiped out Native Americans. Native Americans will still exist today if what happened in the past hadn't happened. America would not be what we see it as it's 52 states and there's all kind of people in this country or on this land. It would not be that. Like people would stay where what?
I'm laughing at DJ's face. No.
No, but like I said, these people will be home. People will stay home on their land. Like nobody.
Eric, can I ask you a question?
We kind of got to. Nobody actually wants to be in America. Like Eric, if you ask any immigrant, where are you from? Or do you want to be in this country?
We went there.
9 times out of 10, no, they don't. They only come here for opportunity, for money to work and send back home. But that's a whole nother conversation. But back to the question. Mm-hmm. America will not be America.
No, we can stay here for a bit. We could.
I agree with the whole America.
We'll all be tribal people.
But due to slavery,
Africans will be in Africa. Nigerians will be in Nigeria.
Well, I'm gonna let Chris go. Yeah, you go ahead.
Like nobody.
Can I add on really quick? Yeah. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Number one, America would not be America as we know it had slavery not
existed. Native Americans would still be alive, bro.
Correct.
They wiped out that whole community of people.
Correct. But I do also one thing I do think would have happened was is expansion. I think people still would have been implored to explore. I think people still would have sailed ships. Like you take Magellan, for example. Magellan was the first person to sail around the world. I still think that happens whether slavery is a factor or not. I think like
Explore,
international
yes, but to
expansion.
come in and infiltrate and kill and do all that other stuff, nah.
Right, we're removing for the sake of this conversation, we're removing that aspect. But I do think people still would travel. Like I don't think anybody would just stay in their country. For example, like I don't think that the Queen of England or the King of England, whatever have you, would be satisfied just knowing about England. Like I think he would have like had somebody travel and transcribe what else is out there in the world because the world is much bigger than England. I still like I agree with every point that you hit. Don't get me wrong. I agree with every point that you hit. I don't think like if you remove slavery out the equation, America damn sure isn't what it would have been or what we know it is now because white people during the start of America, for whatever reason, didn't like to work for themselves and had other people do it for them for free and forced labor or whatever have you. But as far as like people just staying put, that I don't think that happens. Like I think people will explore or whatever have you.
Naturally going to explore, because you're curious to learn more. The good, right. I want to say that's a terrible way to phrase it.
And I'm gonna just say this too. I wish America wasn't America, and I wish we was all tribal in how we originally was. I wish America would never happen.
That's like wishing that you don't have a cell phone or technology doesn't exist.
I don't give a damn about a cell phone.
You don't know that. You always have.
Unfortunately, there were good things that came from a terrible situation.
We benefit
because of the
BS
the cultures, the cultures mixing. Ideas being exchanged across races and cultures.
There's good things that came from expansion. As far as like exploration and expansion, nothing good from slavery. That's not what we're trying to say.
Yeah, that's not saying like, ooh,
that's not what he's trying
to happen so we could get iPhones. No,
what's good from expansion?
That's mad ignorant.
What's good?
But we got
I'm
iPhones. That's all that
matters. I'm the only one here trying to make a serious point. Like, what's good about expansion is that we were able to share ideas. People were able to see different cultures. People learn different languages. We expand as a people, But as far as like tearing people away from their homes and selling them into fucking slavery, that's
teaching them. Taking away their religion, taking away their families, language.
Just erasing their entire culture. Yeah, and the genocide of an entire people like Native Americans and stuff like that. Like the indigenous people of this country are absolutely fucking wiped out because of slavery and expansion and stuff.
Yeah, and put into certain sections of America where they have, we gave you a reservation where you have tax-free living. You have casinos and you have alcohol. A large percentage of Native Americans are alcoholics
because of historical factors that still play on them.
If that doesn't happen, these people prosper in this land.
You know what I learned in school that's like super fucked up that still happens in Native Americans? You know what a blood quantum is?
No, that sounds crazy. So
blood quantum is what you have to do in order to prove that you are a Native American. For example, if I have to call myself like a Cherokee Indian, in order to prove it, I have to be at least like
40%,
1/14th, like part of my blood has to be like 1/14th Native American. They have to do that in order to keep their culture and race alive. Like that's insane to me. Like that they have to find people or whatever have you that has like the most diluted blood,
and they
but still like like they have to find people that have like the most diluted blood in order to like call themselves like Cherokees or Native Americans or whatever have you, any other type of tribe, whatever have you, like in order to keep that tribe going so it won't go extinct.
That's crazy.
And that is all a historical result of things that have happened to them in the past. Like, it's fucking insane. Like,
it's not okay. I didn't know it was that deep. That's crazy. I guess... Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I guess we can go to this kind of speaking on blow-ups, things like that. People watching bad things, happen. My beloved podcast, the Joe Budden Podcast
Oh
has
boy.
come to an end.
Oh snap! I ain't mean
Several people along the way have warned me about the character of a certain Joseph Budden.
Oh, by several he means us.
No, yes, you guys are included, but there's been several more. I didn't see the writing on the wall, I suppose. I thought, Joe wouldn't do that. Joe's learned enough, throughout his lifetime to not, put his friends or people he's close to into, any situations again. He's finally seeing a level of success that how could you possibly want to ruin that, But again, Joseph Budden has found a way to ruin it.
Yeah, that's not even funny.
It's not.
It's really terrible.
It sounds like he's reading a eulogy.
So, if you can, for the people that don't know what happened, can you explain it a little bit?
I'm going to expound on that. So, there was a podcast called the Joe Budden Podcast.
Yeah, this shit
it was featuring 3 other individuals. It is Maul, Rory, and Parks. Recently, they had gotten to a little spat. It seemed like, things were going on and they needed to, figure things the way forward. Upon them coming back, there was an episode, I believe 2 episodes, and you can tell like the energy was kind of off. So then they went on a vacation, and then they came back from said vacation. Joe then said, Rory's in breach of contract. He's supposed to be here. He's fired as of this moment forward. And so was Maul. I believe a couple days ago, Rory and Maul came out with their own, response video, pretty much saying that this is the truth and this is what happened. Pretty much there was disputes over contracts. At first, being that they were a group of friends, they had, pretty much an understanding between one another that they'll split the profits, evenly amongst the 3 of them, or 4 of them. But anytime that they would ask about the accounting, Joe became irate and didn't want to show them the accounting and things like that. And pretty much what it ended up was there was a lack of respect and just an understanding, even though they're supposed to be friends. Now, how do you guys, I guess, feel about that? I mean, Eric, I'm sure you have a lot to say about this because you also have been telling me not a lot. Short and simple.
Yep.
All right. Keep it short and simple, then we'll go to Dellz.
Nah, Dellz can start. I'll let y'all go.
All right,
Chris, your camera was out there for this. I don't know.
I know.
Oh my God.
Okay. No, Chris, go ahead. Dellz. Go ahead. I'm over here distracted.
Jesus. You asked me how I feel about the situation.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like what?
Well, I feel my feelings are fuck Joe Budden. After like analyzing everything that came out and that was put out into the air, like I watched the Rory and Maul thing, and I also watched Joe Budden's response to the Rory and Maul thing on Saturday morning when I woke up. And in his response, he was just running around a circle. There was no answers, but you could check the contract. But nobody can see the contract. You wasn't even letting the people who signed the contract see the contract. So it's just like, at what point, as a friend, do you just be like, you know what? You're not my friend at all. And I feel like he pushed both of those guys to that point. And it's crappy because I, like you, enjoyed the JBP. It got me through some work days, especially during quarantine.
Why?
So it was very disturbing news. But like I said earlier, it's fuck Joe Budden because you cannot be that egotistical and think that you're going to be successful for a long, long time. Whenever ego comes into play, especially with friends, it's pretty much a ticking time bomb. If you're not man enough to address it like they all tried to do, and he said he was going to do something and it did something else, or kept pushing it off, like, oh, I'll let you guys see it, I'm my fault, and then you just don't do it, then like you can't just keep slapping somebody in the face and expect them not to, get mad. Or in this case, nobody violated him, but if it was my man Eric would have had the, machete.
Put the pause
It
on.
was I.
Chris.
Give him the wrath of God. The golden
So
hand.
if you're listening, Joe, don't fuck with him. You already know what happened. Really, like, this whole thing is just like an illustration of just how hypocritical Joe Budden can be. He is the main person that is always saying, check your contract, know what you're getting into, know the parameters of your deal. Like, he literally barked on Lil Yachty on his podcast because he didn't know the specifics of his contract. Rory and Mal tried to do this with his contract. Now it's a problem. Like, and the fact that he doesn't see the irony in this is absolutely amazing to me. Like, the things, like, I listened to both sides of both explanations of the story, and I agree with Dellz 100%. Like, Joe just seems like he's just talking in circles. It seems like he just loves the sound of his own voice, but that's just my opinion on his broadcasting career in general.
It's a Leo trait.
He's a Virgo, though.
Nah, he's a Leo.
He's a Virgo.
And
what's his birthday?
I don't know.
why is this important?
He's a Virgo. He's always said he's a Virgo.
Joe Budden's a Leo.
He's a Leo. Okay.
This is exactly why I'm not
I
any
apologize,
now.
sir.
They bring up some irrelevant
Go
stuff.
ahead, man.
No, I'm kidding. But like, I listened to both sides of the story or whatever have you, and what it seems like the contract is that they were equity partners, meaning that Rory and Mal get paid a certain percentage based off of the overall profitability of the podcast. So for them to check the numbers, right, is essential because they have to figure out what their bottom line is.
Exactly.
So for Joe to say, "Oh, you're not entitled to check the numbers," is absolute bullshit because they won't know what they're getting paid unless they know the numbers. So for him to say, like, you're not entitled to look at the books or whatever have you, or not entitled to look at this contract or whatever have you, is absolute garbage because they have to know what their financial bottom line is based off of the profitability. So it's like people, like, because I'm in a music group or whatever have you on Facebook, and it's like people defending Joe Budden, like, "Oh, if you work for me, you can't ask what the..."
They don't work for him. That's the thing.
They don't work for him.
Partners.
They're partners with him. They don't work for him. They're not his employees. And like, you see like the set and everything, and he's like writing on the pictures and shit like that. He's still got the mic equipment up and everything, and it's like he's such a child. Like, it's pathetic to even see that. Like, you can't admit that. Like,
you're wrong.
You're wrong in this regard. Like, you have to go through all this extra shit. Like, I wasn't a regular listener to his podcast to begin with. Like, if y'all brought it up, I would listen to it just to get an idea of what y'all was talking about. But I damn sure won't be a regular listener now, considering he going through all this shit with his so-called friends. If he's willing to do that to his friends, like,
and apparently he's from what I've seen
in his life, like, come on.
From what I've seen, he's going to continue it with the
arcs.
No disrespectful, no disrespect for them. The two replacements with Ish and Ice.
Come on.
I mean, that podcast. I'll be honest.
That whole line is disrespectful. He gonna do this with replacements. Meanwhile, it started out with.
Yeah, exactly. It started with with Maul. Well, technically, Maul came later. Rory came a little like episode 5 or something like that.
Sad.
But for him to go and still try to continue the podcast with, I don't know what other word to recall them, the replacements. I think that's highly disrespectful, and I don't think I would be listening. I think it's going to hurt me, but I think I might have to unsubscribe from the Patreon.
I already did. I'm not giving them my money. They ain't giving no Patreon money for me.
Because I was at the top tier too. I was doing the $25 a month.
Wow,
dedicated.
Yeah, those are my guys, man. Like, I went to the live shows. I was there. I missed the live show in Atlanta, and I got mad. I forgot about the live show because I went to work that day, and I was so mad that I missed it that I bought a ticket for the one in Orlando, and went to the one in Orlando instead. So, I mean, I'm a pretty dedicated fan. So to see them end like this was kind of heartbreaking because even with us, we have a podcast now, and it's like if it really came down to it, are we going to have those issues? I hope not, because I'm going to win because I'm Joe. But
all right, you got that.
We know where we stand.
I'll give you that.
So I got a question.
I like how you just threw that in there.
Who's Rory and who's Maul?
well, I mean, there's 4 of us, so this is unfair.
Who's Parks? Huh? Who's Parks?
Yeah, sorry, Parks. I'll tell you that.
Who's Parks? Eric's Parks.
Okay, well, Deli's Rory.
That's the guy behind the camera, right? Dude that be in the corner.
I'm not he's answering.
Yeah.
I'm answering. You asked me a question, I'm going to answer.
Yeah, go right ahead, brother.
Maul. Who's Maul?
I think I would be more of a Maul.
No.
Is that the black dude?
Eric is gonna be Maul, and Christian, I'm sorry, you're Mark. Because you're more like, level-headed, kind of, voice of reason.
So I'm a
Chris.
I'm a punk. That's what you're saying.
Maul.
So what are you saying?
Eric is kind of, he thinks he's too cool for school. And
Rory's
Rory's supposed to be kind of like right hand.
Look at my hands. Look at my hands. He do be sitting like that too, like in a chair like this.
All the time.
He does do that a lot. I noticed that. He does do that a lot. Proceed.
So I mean, that's if I had to, put a roles. That's my assignment. You guys cannot agree. That's fine. I'm Joe, so it doesn't fucking matter. You are who you are.
Oh, shit. All right.
All right, Eric. You didn't give any answer on.
So I'm gonna keep.
I'm gonna keep it
my
brief.
Feedback short. So I feel like Joe Budden has a history of stuff like this, right? Where he's on a show, and like Chris said, he's childish.
Was on the wall,
and he has tantrums. He blows up and just keeps going, and makes other people uncomfortable or does things that doesn't necessarily make sense or help the situation. So he, I guess, gets pushed out of it, or the whatever thing that's happening gets shut down. Like he has a history of this, and for me, I'm not surprised. I don't really follow Joe Budden in that realm. Like I remember him being on, I think it was State of the Culture on Revo with
that was his show,
Remy Ma and stuff. What happened with that? Is that still going on?
No, they ended because
I think it's
why
the pandemic partly, but I feel
that was partly the reason.
This probably happened.
Then they decided not to continue.
Something like this probably happened. But moreover, you shouldn't mix, I guess, friendship and business. Sometimes you got to be mindful.
We got to end the podcast right
who
now.
you doing stuff? Nah, you just got to be real mindful of who you doing stuff with, and make sure that the foundation and the intention behind it is genuine, and that you don't let your personal get into it or be mindful of your ego and your emotions. Because that's what it seemed like. I don't follow it.
No, that's what it is.
If I'm on here listening to this and he's on there telling people you're fired because of this, that, and the third, that's a conversation you could have had behind the scenes. Or stop the episode or what have you. Be like, all right,
not even had the episode.
We're going somewhere, so let's stop this and we'll revisit this later. Like, it just seems like he's disrespectful. Because BJ, for example, like you said, I was reading some comments where people who follow this podcast were saying how it didn't make sense for him to continue on with these replacement hosts or alternative hosts. Like, he should have just, I guess, stopped the podcast for a few weeks until him, Rory, and Maul reconvene, have a conversation, and if everything was cool, come back. Versus having these random faces on here who are clearly saying, I don't want to be here, I'm just doing this for Joe kind of thing, which is shifting the energy.
They did it for the money. Like, they was getting paid. Like, I'll do it.
Yeah, but they didn't want, like, if you listen to, like, I feel like I heard one episodes
that were kind of like,
was like, I don't want to be here. I don't do podcasts. Yeah. I don't really want to. I'm just doing this because it's like, come on. You bring in a whole nother energy to something that's already established. But for me, I agree with those people who say Joe Budden should have stopped the podcast or postponed it until they got over that and came back.
And the crazy thing is that they had the conversation that got them back on air. Yeah. And then it's just like he promised some things. And then when they get on air, it's kind of like a different energy.
Yeah. He kept it going. Like he kept poking the bear, quote unquote, so to speak. Like he would keep making snide comments and shit like that, and like you would see it would just get real awkward. Like not only for them but the listeners too, because it's like if you hear stuff like that, you as a listener, like, and I'm speaking solely for myself, you begin to speculate, like, is everything really okay? Like,
now
happened?
It's been not okay for months. Like you can hear it in the energy from being a
people
loyal
can tell,
listener for like the last like the last like 3 years, 4 years. I've listened to every single episode. I've not missed an episode. And just to hear the tension kind of like building, and it's like, what's going on? Like y'all good? But I thought it was, more so like a friendship thing. Sometimes you see enough of your friends, you kind of get like annoyed with them, but it's kind of something like
everybody has
you
spats.
get over it. Like, yeah, whatever.
His thing is like he does like the whole scorched earth. Like, oh, if I can't, you guys won't podcast with me. Ain't no podcast gonna happen or whatever happened. Like he just like burns every bridge that he could get his hands on, like when he doesn't get his way or whatever have you. And it's like, to me, it's just like ridiculously childish that it's even come to this point. Like that, all this dirty laundry about contracts and shit like that, and like
especially
all this
stuff
out in the open now, fan speculation. All this shouldn't even be known about by fans. Like, this is like a private entity that could have been handled by all the people involved, and now we're here because he decided to be a dick. So it's like,
fuck Joe.
Okay. Also, I thought about something before we move on to the next topic. Have y'all ever noticed that, anytime they talk about, Martin Luther King or show pictures of them, it's always in black and white?
Yes,
when
sir.
there was color pictures during that time period.
You mean
they
the world wasn't in black and white back then?
How they try to make it seem like it was like
far
so longer back.
Yeah,
and it really was like 50 years. If Ruby Bridges is like 50 years old.
You would swear that like we didn't discover color until like 1973.
But the technology was different back then, like cameras, video.
Those pictures are in color.
They're in color.
There's some.
Those pictures are in color. They just make it in black and white to make it seem like it was also
those same pictures that they post in textbooks are in color.
Yes.
That's wild.
But they put it in black and white for a psychological effect to make it seem like it was longer.
Longer than what it was and more important.
My mom got baby pictures in color.
Just a random thought. I just thought.
It's like, bruh. My grandma got freaking colors.
That's that conditioning. That social
I remember being a kid and seeing a baby picture of myself like in black and white, and I'm like, did they not have color in 1989? Like, why is this a thing?
I don't know. I just kind of randomly thought about it because when I sent that picture of the Olympic Games to the group chat just now, I was kind of like,
they normally post it in black and white, which is crazy.
It's
America.
Psychological warfare. Psychological warfare.
You can catch on to that now. You be knowing, brother. That's why you're the host.
Like I say, stay woke. Stay woke, my people.
Eric Speaking about psychological warfare, let's move on to market manipulation by Elon Musk. Well,
Yo, hold on. You gotta reframe that, bro. That's not what he's doing.
I know. I'm saying.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Some people.
That just sounds like Elon Musk is manipulating the system. Like
I started laughing because he just so happily. Speaking of psychological manipulation, I'm like, what the fuck is going with this?
He should
not that this is not factual because Elon's my guy. Doge family.
Shock treatment.
Shock treatment. I don't think he's personally do it, but a lot of people are claiming that he's manipulating the market. How do you feel?
Unintentional, but he's doing
let me just finish.
Like he is?
Hold on, Dellz. Let him finish.
No. Let Dellz explain himself.
All right, this is why I think it's market.
It's not manipulation.
Yes, it is. This is
my
theory, right? Okay, I'm gonna break it down for you.
Okay.
Crypto is new, right?
You go ahead.
Crypto is a big thing, right? I want to say probably 4 months ago.
Not really.
Like 2 months ago, Tesla. Oh, we're gonna use Bitcoin. We're accepting Bitcoin, and these niggas gonna go and we're gonna backtrack and say, oh, we're not gonna use Bitcoin because it's bad for the environment. But you already knew. In order to get Bitcoins, you have to mine Bitcoins. This is not new news. You need energy to produce the Bitcoin. So now all of a sudden you're like, oh, let me realign my loyalty to Doge because this causes a lot of energy, and we're an energy efficient company. But you already knew that. So now you want to have an argument with everybody that's in Bitcoin, and now you want to be like, oh, Doge is the wave. But just 2 weeks ago on Saturday Night Live, Doge is a hustle.
But Doge is kind of the wave.
Doge is he didn't say that. He said Doge is a hustle. A hustle.
He didn't say that. To be fair, he did not say that. They said that he agreed because it's a skit.
All right, but his cosign is skit. Way more important than any like mine, right. For example. Like I wouldn't say he's manipulating the market, but he's damn sure influencing it. There's a lot of factors at play here. One, he'll do anything to keep influence. Right. He'll do anything to keep his name, out in public, whether it be naming his baby after a weird fucking code or whatever have you. Like I feel like
how you guys are talking about Elon Musk.
Yes.
You brought it up.
Unfortunately, if you guys aren't getting free Tesla at all. I was going to pay you guys in Tesla.
He bought powder first. It's fucking weird. Anyway,
I was going to pay you guys in Teslas. It's over. What? You're done.
You're not going to pay us in Teslas. Anyway, I feel like he's not manipulating the market. He's not like doing anything like insider trading. But I think he realizes the amount of power that he has just by sending out a tweet. It's like, I'm going to start accepting Dogecoin, wink, wink. Maybe everybody else should too. And it's not like he's the first guy to do this. Like the Mavericks came out, like Mark Cuban said, like, yo, we're going to start accepting Dogecoin in our facilities and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't necessarily seem as big as when Elon Musk does it because he has a dedicated social media following, number one.
Musketeer.
And oh my God. I didn't even know they had a fucking
I didn't even know that's what they was called.
I didn't know that was a thing until he said that.
Because I kind of follow him now too.
I just lost my train of thought upon hearing that. Go ahead.
It's not market manipulation. No, you were saying
it's not market manipulation. It's not market manipulation. He realizes the amount of influence and power that he has over social media. So he's not necessarily manipulating the market. He's just getting he's getting a lot of people who haven't dabbled in stocks to buy this shit.
Can I step in? I only call it market manipulation because he only does this to crypto. It's not like the full market, but the crypto world, Elon Musk controls, and he knows that. He could tweet a dog.
Did he do it to GameStop too?
Yes, he did. Exactly.
Did it to GameStop too.
Oh, GameStop
to the moon. Oh, everybody knew what he meant. Never says GameStop by name, but everybody knew what he meant. To the moon.
GameStop.
Musketeer.
Because we all have.
How about if I play devil's advocate? How about if I play devil's advocate? You ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
How about he's getting a lot more people, to get involved in crypto? A lot of people weren't in the crypto space, as much as they are right now. A lot more people are getting involved.
He's taking advantage of his platform.
Hey, let me finish my point, sir. Sir, I let you speak, sir. So he's getting a lot more people involved in the crypto, right? So a lot of people that, would never even think about, buying stock, things like that, they're getting involved. Starting with crypto, it's very volatile. Very extremely volatile. And it seems like every day there's a new coin popping up. Right now you got Shiba coin, Shiba Inu. Whatever. Safe Moon, you got
there's tons
XRP. There's so many that pop. You can do your own. Like I could literally come out with a cryptocurrency tomorrow if I wanted to.
You could.
So it's crazy. But I mean, y'all keep talking. I'm gonna make a Views from Drew coin. I will do it. But things like that, it kind of gets your feet wet in order to start even talking about stocks, kind of in a way. To me, I think crypto, is a good way to start. Not necessarily in Doge necessarily, or like Safe Moon, things like that. But it kind of gives you an understanding because a lot of people can't afford to get into like a Tesla, a Nike. So like these cryptocurrencies start at like less than a penny. So a lot of people can get into it, but in the same breath, you can also get hustled really quickly because you'll put all your money into this thing thinking that it's going to the moon, and then you look at and then your whole life
is going to hell.
I have a rebuttal.
And it's 60 seconds to go to hell.
I have a rebuttal. Here's my thing.
And your portfolio is negative 1,000 after you put in 200.
Yep. Nobody checks it, and it's like, oh, look at all this money that I just lost.
Speaking on Doge, it's also
I have wait. I have a rebuttal. My thing is this: does nobody think like what this does for him, like what his benefit is, and all this? Like, why is he just?
He just lost what was it, $20 billion in his last 2 weeks since SNL. He lost money.
He doesn't.
Right. I'm just saying. Like, does nobody think like I just see like people talk about Elon Musk like he's like this savior that just comes and like, you guys should invest in this. Like, it'll make you rich. Like, I mean, that's what it feels like, at least. But hold on, wait. Does nobody think of like what the benefit is for him to be tweeting all this shit? Like,
or his brand?
Right. Like, does nobody ever think of like what he has to gain in all this?
I mean, to be fair, he's contributed a lot to society in general. Like he really got the reusable spaceships thing, they do this like every week now. Like they send, they blast rockets off and they retrieve them and reuse them. He started the Boring Company. They made flamethrowers accessible to the public. Not necessarily that you need it. They also started building.
Hold on. What the hell does the public need with flamethrowers? Wait. What? Shit like that is not helping the common man. Like,
why do you think that's a good thing? Like, that doesn't help nothing.
Can I finish with the Boring Company, please? They also built tunnels underneath LA and Vegas to help with traffic.
Okay.
Are they?
That's one thing I'll agree with.
Are they in use? Are they in use?
Yes.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's probably why
not
you
in high demand. Yes, that is exactly why I asked about it. Tesla is I think it's the fastest selling car in America currently, and it's very green. People will argue that it's not green because those supercharging stations do use, fossil fuels and things to get energy. However, at least the energy stops there. Your car's not filled with gas.
Energy isn't polluting the earth.
Exactly.
But my thing is this: it's like a lot of that shit that you just named, outside of the tunnels and maybe Tesla not necessarily polluting the air, doesn't necessarily help the common man. Like I cannot benefit personally.
You don't know if you need a flamethrower.
I love a flamethrower personally, but
see, exactly, you can buy one.
All right, really, but I don't have access to one.
Chris, tell us about this flamethrower that you want. Why do you want a flamethrower?
Why not?
I need to drive my window.
Quickly.
I hereby invoke my Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Anyway, but it's like a lot of that shit. Like, how does that help the common man? Like a reusable spaceship. I don't necessarily like. I understand its importance.
They're also about to commercialize space.
Playing its importance.
However, commercialize space.
We can't afford it.
Where?
How do you know you can't afford it?
Where?
By Doge, you can afford it.
Wait, no, don't do that.
Okay, I don't want to say the point anymore. Forget it.
It's a joke, please. This is not financial advice. I didn't give you any financial advice.
I think Elon Musk, as far as his brand,
please don't sue me. I don't need this.
That he's in the tech space, and that's helping. I don't know where because I haven't looked too much into it, but I think he's in the tech realm. And he's helping out or trying to create stuff for the future. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I feel like all the profit he's making, he's using it, he's giving it back somehow or transferring it to create something. Like, isn't he building like something in Cali? Like a whole
no, that's in Texas, Starbase. It's a Tesla production facility.
Yeah. So it's creating jobs.
He also has one in Berlin. He's going international. He does a lot. People He's
got his fingers in a lot of different pots.
Yes. And a lot of different industries.
He does a lot. Like, he doesn't do a lot. My thing is,
he said he looks at Doge as a stimulus for the people.
So how about you give everybody a Dogecoin is not worth that much money.
44 cents.
You can
give everybody 44 cents.
Yeah, it's
but what I wanted to say
It's up to 46.
As far as this whole conversation, it's not Elon Musk specifically, but that's how the stock
No, it
market
is.
works, right?
No,
So
it's not.
depending on
Dellz.
what type of news happens, what
Dell's
deals,
not a musketeer.
what good news, what bad news, what companies are failing, what companies are merging, independent public offerings, IPOs happening. Like there's a whole bunch of different things that happen in the stock world in a day, and that is what determines how stocks fluctuate, right? For example, in the last 2 days, I think there's this deal going on with Warner, Disney,
AT&T and Warner.
AT&T, yeah, that they're creating this whole like on-demand video thing,
Creating a new
and that,
media platform.
yeah, and that's of course going to make certain stocks go up because it's around the media realm. If that deal don't go through, it's going to be a dip, and stocks are going to go down as far as that category. So that's how the stock market really works. And if people are paying attention to the news,
but AT&T can't.
I would like to share
what's
before
happening.
you get your point out,
Whether
Dellz.
you want to hold off on something,
before you
put
get your
money
point
into
out,
something
Dellz.
when there's a sell-off, or if you see that a deal goes through, put your money in, and it'll inflate.
I would like to say that this
saying?
is the most advice Eric has ever given us about the stock market. Could you please record this and send this to me, please? Just so I can have it for reference that he has taught us something about the stock market.
But my thing is, all
we're asking for advice all the time, folks. He tells us nothing.
Because the information is in your face. This is how I learned everything I learned in the last year.
Yes, everything you've learned. You
can send links.
You, sir.
Yeah, you could send links.
I sent you a link earlier, and you said, "Hey, this is actually more helpful than what I read earlier." And I was like, I'm just here to help.
But that is a stock in the crypto world. Pay attention to
that is not the crypto world. The crypto don't run on information like the stock world. The crypto runs on.
It doesn't.
Tweets.
This is very unpredictable.
Yes, it does. There's people
on Twitter. It runs off Twitter. I'm letting you know right now.
It runs off
Pay
Twitter.
attention to that, like I said before. Okay. In terms of stock,
it really runs off Twitter.
It really, to be perfectly honest, it really is a definition of a meme stock. It's a definition of a meme stock. The more social popularity it gets, the more people get intrigued, the more people will want to inquire, the more people invest. So
it's called FOMO.
Platforms where people are communicating as far as
fear of missing out.
People are following the right things so they can know what's going on in the crypto space, just like they do with the in the stock space.
Okay, talking about popularity and things like that. Recently, there's been a gas shortage. Should there ever have been a gas shortage? Probably not. There's enough gas for everyone. But of course, whenever you mention a shortage of anything, people want to go out and panic buy. Why did you need that much gas? Where were you going? I don't get it.
Nowhere.
If there was a shortage of gas, don't go anywhere. That's literally the easiest way to do it. Stay home. Why are you buying all the gas? We all have places to go.
Can I offer an alternative to your point?
I'm sorry. I got a little emotional about it.
No, I agree with you, number one.
Because I drive.
There's a gas shortage. I mean, just stay the fuck home. But I think people get all this gas
city bike so
maybe resell, with supply being low and demand being high.
Gas? Like a sneaker market?
That's wild.
No, I said rent a bike.
That's wild.
Chris said it.
Y'all got a gallon of gas. 60.
I'm pretty sure there are some people out there doing it.
I'm sure they did.
Wait, doing what?
I know you saw that reselling the guy with the bag of piss. So it's like, hey, I'm reselling gas, like 50 a gallon or whatever have you.
You gotta make that money somehow.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure that there are some people out there who have gas and are selling it to people.
I mean, the shortage has been corrected.
Well, why was there a shortage anyways? What happened?
Something.
Cyber attack.
One of these ships get blown
up. Do you want to go
with
actual facts or do you want to go with conspiracies?
Yeah, with the facts. Don't bring in no damn conspiracies into this damn
What's a fact?
podcast. We don't want no damn conspiracies. We want
fact is
hard facts.
Millions of people believe.
What's a fact, Eric?
What happened?
Millions of people believe other things. Does that make it a fact? Just curious. So the conspiracy behind it is that at first they were saying, I guess Russia did it. And then, normally if Russia does something, hacked the system to bring us down. But normally, if Russia does it, they'll say, "I did it." Then they try to blame it on an internet group that hacked the system that said that they did it. But normally, if any group does that, they'll take credit for it. So a theory that's popular on TikTok, said that America itself did it to push the green vehicle thing. Because today, Joe Biden showed up with the Ford F-150, the electric version, to push it's a big push to green vehicles, so electric vehicles. This government's policy, one of its main platforms upon its election was going green.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
Joe, I do as well. So what they're saying that with this gas hack, you know how everyone started panicking, and just it wouldn't happen if you owned a Tesla. It wouldn't happen if you owned the Volkswagen, John. I forgot what it's called. So if you went green, you wouldn't have to worry about this. So I believe today he proposed some legislation that said that he would provide a lot more charging stations throughout America, a lot of incentives to buying green vehicles.
It needs to happen. Mm-hmm.
I agree 100%.
There's a lot of companies that are
and it would create
that space.
It would create a lot because that's where, if you like you were saying, if you watch the news, there's been a large shift towards electric vehicles and things like that. So he also said he wants to provide, electric
vehicles. I'm following, but I'll keep that to myself.
I have read or heard about
ain't nobody listening to what I just said.
A rebranding of our infrastructure, where we can create highways that are pretty much solar panels that recharge cars as they drive over them, and at night that they would provide light. So you wouldn't have to, worry about, lighting and things like that. It would be provided by the sun and the car is driving over it. That in itself would create a lot of jobs. But a lot of people are opposed to it. Why? I have no idea. But that's what the conspiracy theory was. Is it fact?
People are invested in fossil fuels. So if you stop using fossil fuels, they lose money. So that's America.
Well, it's only because they haven't found a way to put profit from it. It's the same thing with weed. Everyone was so against weed, but when's the last time you heard a tobacco company speak out against weed these days?
I know weed is the future. It's like 12 more states
because they figured out how to profit off of it.
And because of this pandemic, the money is needed.
And that in itself could help.
Be needed.
What I think is about to happen. Don't kill me, government. This is my living testament. What I think is about to happen is that they're going to go full speed into weed and use it as a means to pay for all the green stuff. All the alternative energies and alternative vehicles, and provide the grants and things for purchasing alternative vehicles. They're going to, legalize weed, create, a surplus, because that's a, billion, if not $1 trillion industry.
If it makes sense, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, the green paying for the green makes sense.
Nice
marketing. Nice. I'm all for it. I mean, we could literally spend money on worse things. So I'm glad that this is actually going to benefit, the world in itself. It creates a lot of jobs. I don't know why there's so much resistance. We need an infrastructure refresh anyway. Our infrastructure is crumbling. Flint still doesn't have clean water. So, I mean,
fucking ridiculous.
I think it's a no-brainer. Speaking of rebranding, Nicki Minaj recently re-released her her famous mixtape, Beam Me Up Scotty, which personally got me as a fan of Nicki Minaj, and it kind of reminded me of her dominant run when she first came out. How do you guys feel about her re-releasing this instead of dropping any new music? She added 3 songs, I believe. I didn't listen to all 3. I only listened to 5 songs. I only listened to
Drake is on one of them.
That's the only song I listened to.
That.
It kind of reminded me of the YMCMB era. If you were alive for it, it was legendary.
I think all of us were.
I'm not saying the listeners that may not have been alive for it. Sure. It was really like a certain energy. Even in that song, it kind of recaptured that energy. Drake kind of sounded like old Drake to me. Wayne sounded like old Wayne, and Nicki sounded like old Nicki. And that mixture, I think we need more of it. It sounded really, really good, and I hope that I continue to see more projects from them. If not, even like a rebrand of YMCMB, and bring in like Lil Baby or somebody underneath it, things like that.
You're reaching, bro.
Yeah,
I am reaching. Wait, Tom, are you not a Lil Baby fan?
Oh, I am a Lil Baby fan.
I am.
No, I'm talking to Eric. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whew, almost fired you on from this podcast on live air.
You don't have the power to do that.
He's just...
I do. It's me. It's my podcast. This is the Brizzy Podcast.
Oh man. How I felt about the mixtape, I feel like it's a smart move. She hasn't made music in a while, from what I understand. And why not bring back something?
Cheddar Baby.
Yeah. Wasn't it at one point that she said she was going to retire too?
Yep, because she felt like there was no respect to her name anymore.
Yeah. So it was smart.
What changed?
And this is a good segue to if she is making an album, why not do
money?
Smart move.
Mm-hmm. Money.
This
is what she makes
but
money at.
Like that comment like that is the same reason why I don't know
smart
how
marketing.
Really it's like you said you were going to retire because all these people are saying, you know,
but that's just
Nicki's not the old Nicki.
Nicki's not. Now.
What? We said Eric?
That's the thing that artists do now. Like they say, "Oh, I'm gonna retire."
Yeah, but it's different. No, so my
a week
thing
later,
is,
they drop a whole album.
Yeah, like I would have loved if Nicki dropped the actual album. Like when she popped back up on social media and she was posing and everything, I'm like, oh, we about to get new Nicki. I love Nicki. But for her to just drop the mixtape is just like, I felt a little shortchanged. Maybe that's why I fell away. It was
correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think that mixtape was available anywhere. Like it got taken off.
It was only on that Piff, but
it was available on that Piff, obviously.
But
a lot of mixtapes.
It's a smart move. Bro.
A lot of artists are doing it.
Even when Lil Wayne did it, I was just like,
yeah, Trey Songz did it. Wayne with the drought.
Drake did it as well.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about it. You know me. I don't.
But Drake did it differently. It was like, here's the best.
Packaged all of them into one thing.
But in here.
Yeah, The Weeknd did that too. Not The Weeknd. Party Next Door did that. No, Weeknd did it too as well. Weeknd has also did that.
To what?
Weeknd did that. Party Next Door did that to their music. They packaged it all into one. Their most popular songs, packaged it into one album.
I was just about to say that. This is no different from people releasing like a greatest hits or a compilation album of their best hits or whatever have you. No, I'm just saying in general, like people re-release old music all the time. So I don't think she should be
mixtapes. So mixtapes for the time was free, and it's resurfacing, and they making money off of it this time.
The way I'm looking at this re-release is kind of like her showing people this is why I'm where I'm at. You remember what this mixtape did to you? Because like after I listened to the Drake song, I went back to Chirac with her and G Herbo, and I remember what that was. I was like, okay, I remember what this did, and then I heard I Get Crazy, and y'all remember what that did in New York. So it's like it kind of brought back that old feel of this is Nicki Minaj, you know what I mean? A lot of people have forgotten what she's done and the road she's paved. Not to say that I don't think a lot of female artists these days don't respect her, but she said it's more so towards the industry that she felt kind of blackballed by the industry, even though if these female artists that they love so much, the Megs, the Doja Cats, the City Cardi B's, like the City Girls, none of these females would exist if it wasn't for
Nicki Minaj. You're absolutely right.
Big facts.
And she'd never been given her credit. So I mean, if we've not learned anything in these last couple years, we need to give the artists that we love their flowers before it's too late.
But even in that space, it's more like, in what point wasn't she giving her credit? Like how much credit?
Like, what was people gave her credit?
Yeah.
Does she even have a Grammy yet?
No.
Yeah, she has
have
plenty of Grammys.
No, she don't.
She does not have a Grammy.
Zero.
She doesn't?
No.
She does not have a Grammy. Cardi got a Grammy before she did.
But that's because it's a different landscape. Like
why? Exactly. What do you mean a different landscape?
All right, so people nowadays are not dropping like full thought out albums. Like Cardi B album was legit front to back a great ass album. Like undeniably. Like people don't put effort into an album. This is why Cardi only has one album and then she disappeared. She put out one fucking great album. Now it's just like
people now got a Grammy. That's probably why she was complaining.
Yeah, but like people release music now not for album.
But it's just
they release it for popularity.
But Nicki released albums, concise albums. The Pink Print is classic.
But she was also releasing with other people. Like you got to think about who she was releasing albums with. Jay, Drake.
What other female rapper was out when?
It doesn't matter because it's not a female rap category.
So why wouldn't she have? Album. Why would she not have
best rap album? She wasn't. She was releasing with other big names. Like when Nicki was coming up, labels have release schedules for certain artists. Like you had a release schedule. You can't just be like, "Oh, surprise drop, boom." No,
but now there's a female rap section
in the Grammys.
But now there's a female rap category
in the Grammys.
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't. Best female artist, rap
artist.
I don't know. I haven't watched the Grammys in a couple years.
Yeah, I don't have to watch Grammys. I can't, but I'm pretty.
We're talking about
90%
rap album of the year. She didn't win. Like it's kind of hard to win rap album of the year. If Drake is here, Wayne is here, Jay-Z is here. Like,
listen, don't start that list off with Drake. So Wayne,
you have,
and then everybody else. Drake was not at the top of that list. Don't do that.
Yes, Drake is most definitely at the top of the list. Even Wayne would say that Drake is at the top of that list.
I just fact checked. They actually do not have gender specific qualities for rap or in general. I think, but I see both of your points. What Dellz is arguing is that she was behind a lot of more relevant artists at the time that had release schedules and stuff.
But they could at least gave her something for the like a song.
Yeah, but she wasn't a proven commodity at that point, so that's a moot point. And at my example, in my opinion, at that point, why would you take, if you have somebody like a release schedule like Jay-Z or whatever have you, why would you take a flyer on a new artist when you have a proven commodity like Jay-Z?
I mean, to be fair, she held her own during that monster.
I didn't say. I'm not saying that she's terrible. Whatever.
I get the point.
Put it like this. If I can make a sports analogy, why would I start a rookie over somebody that's a proven starter? Why would I do that? But I also see your point where, to me, she really hasn't been giving her roses because she has paved the way for a lot of artists that are incredibly similar to her in a lot of respects and are female rap artists, in which it was an era in which female rap artists were scarce. So she really does deserve some type of credit.
Question.
And I don't think she gets enough of it.
Does Little Kim get her roses?
Little Kim did have her roses.
Does Little Kim have a Grammy?
I'm gonna look that up now.
I doubt it.
I don't think so.
Little Kim got her roses. The way I
mean, without Little Kim, none of them make that.
When she had her run, it's like
okay, but
what about MC Light? What about MC Light?
MC Light. First off, MC Light. Let's get that out of the way right now. MC Light is great.
And they got their credit and they love when they had their run.
But Nicki got that, so it's like, when did she not get her roses? Like, what flowers?
Man, I just feel like, I don't know.
I think she wants
Nicki, but she's a versatile artist. Like, she wasn't just a rapper, a female MC. Like, she did the singing. She used to do
acting. She did acting.
Techno, I don't know, but pop music. She did pop music. So
techno.
Her demographic or what have you is real. It's different. She wasn't. I wouldn't just consider her a rapper.
Fact check alert: Lil Kim does in fact have a Grammy.
Oh wow!
In the pop category with Lady Marmalade, which is a ensemble.
Yeah, I mean,
so she does have in fact a Grammy.
That's
not.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I mean, okay.
Nah, she needs a Grammy.
Well, she's not gonna get a Grammy with a mixtape.
But back to the original question. I think
That's the truth.
re-release
Making a joke out of it, but it's the
mixtape.
truth.
The re-release of this mixtape is a smart move, and it's a segue to the upcoming album because I'm pretty sure she's gonna do. Well, I'm not sure, but I'm hopeful that she'll.
Sure. She was about to retire.
I mean, why not? You pulled all this attention from your fans, and that has to be like a stepping stone to say, "Hey,
I need the Drake album.
My album."
Speak everything about Drake, don't you?
Everyone's looking for that.
J. Cole just dropped.
Yeah, Drake Cole did just drop.
Drake is mute at this point. Like
that's not true at all.
Right,
that's not true at all.
You can't say that to the stand, brother.
That's not true
J.
at all.
Cole album is number one everywhere, bro.
Yeah, your boy dropped the album, then went and played basketball in Africa and dropped 3 points and 3 assists in 17 minutes. I don't want to hear anything.
Don't 3 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists.
Oh.
Don't come from
he killed it. He killed that. Now, no disrespect for J. Cole because the album was great.
Just dropped his first
album was more than great.
Yesterday,
the album was fucking fire, bro.
That shit smashed.
Probably his greatest album.
I think it's his best album.
That's his best work. I
don't know.
Great at his craft.
Yeah.
He is.
You don't want to say his best work?
You think it's
come on, everybody.
For Your Eyes Only is really good. Like really, really good.
For Your Eyes.
For Your Eyes Only is really front to back, really, really great.
So this you would put that over this?
Was really, really great, and I felt
it
on it.
Not over this.
As an album, like a complete album, I give it to For Your Eyes Only because he did more as an artist. He did more, and that could just be my opinion. But I felt like
it is I don't know
artistically did more on For Your Eyes Only than this.
No.
You don't even listen to J. Cole.
Come back after 3 years.
That's I do.
He did his thing.
No, you don't.
Like I said, J. Cole is number one everywhere.
What 3
That's
years?
all that matters.
Oh yeah, I be forgetting the pandemic year exists.
KOD was his last album.
KOD was his last album.
I just said I'd be forgetting
each
that.
album gets better and better.
Yeah.
He's progressed, I think, each album. I think this album is a work of art.
I think there's one more before he retires.
I can't say enough good things about his latest release. So.
Numero uno, you hear me?
He's very good at picking when he drops. Like he's very good at that. Like he drops at like the right time all the time. Like y'all needed this, and he's like, "Oh, here you go." I'm like, Drake, who'll be like, "Oh, I need this," and it's like,
can't disagree with that.
And he doesn't
on a freestyle.
Give it to you.
Drake on his own freestyle. Time. He had a NASA sweatpants on and a regular plain hoodie.
Freestyle.
And he just popped up doing J. Cole. It was like, fuck it.
Fucking amazing.
And he went off.
I listened to that freestyle half my workday, bro.
That reminds me of like that Little Dicky freestyle when I was like,
BJ, let me ask
you.
Little
Dicky,
Drake can do something like that?
What?
He don't announce that he's gonna make an album. He gonna come back with a freestyle, probably a written, and then drop an album that's gonna go number one. Everybody think Drake can do that?
No, he couldn't.
Hell no.
Drake couldn't do that.
Drake can literally drop tomorrow without announcing it and go number one. You don't think Drake? If Drake literally right now, at midnight, my album comes out, it's not gonna be number one tomorrow.
What J. Cole did in his first week and over
Drake, you don't think Drake
80 racks
in one day?
Eric,
I would not even a week. One day.
I give it like 5 hours, and it could be a 30 fucking track.
Eric, I think you're underestimating the power of social media or something like that.
To sell over 300 copies
in one day.
Hour. Drake,
one day. I would bet that.
Why you keep saying really like
I
you
would
don't
bet
know
your
Drake?
Tesla money,
bro. If Drake were to say, all right,
that's why I'm saying that.
Let's say if Drake tweets, all right, I'm coming out with an album in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you're provided a link or whatever have you. You don't think people are gonna click that link?
They will.
1 million?
80
easy.
Over 1 million.
380 copies.
Like Dellz in an hour, it's over.
280,000 copies.
You're not going to be able to click the link.
Now you milking it. I wouldn't say an hour. But
you wouldn't even be able to click the link. The link would crash.
You put your slip away with saying some hour or whatever have you.
You have to give you a secondary link on a whole nother server in a whole other country.
Over 24 hours? Over 24 hours, he definitely
he don't need 24.
You know who could do something like that? Jay-Z. I remember when he put the album out on the Samsung shit. That shit froze up the damn app.
Crash.
The app the market.
I remember that night. I was there that night.
It didn't make no more sales.
I was in Harlem that night, wasn't I?
Yeah, I was on my phone trying to get it.
Jay-Z could do an hour and probably do numbers like that, but Drake.
All right.
Drake as well.
How?
Come on.
Maybe not an hour.
I want to talk.
Come on.
Eric, you're on crack or something. I don't understand.
I don't say an hour. I wouldn't say an hour. I can agree with 24 hours, not an hour.
It's less than 24. It's probably like 6 hours, bro. I promise you.
Man,
6 hours is fine. I agree with that.
Eric, just because you don't like the man, you don't understand the following this man has.
That's just how I feel. Look at me. Look how I got this man. He's a complete disbelief.
How dare you? How dare you?
Like BJ don't like Kendrick, but BJ can't be like, if Kendrick dropped right now, he won't sell.
You bugging. Yeah. That whole conversation last time.
I was about to say, don't say anything stupid on this podcast.
Listen.
Kendrick albums and all that.
Listen.
That's insanity.
I'm very, very realistic. Just because I don't necessarily like a person does not mean that person is not a talented artist. I say that with Eminem. I'll say that with Kendrick. I'll say that with who else? Somebody I don't. Joyner Lucas.
You don't like Eminem?
No, I cannot listen to Eminem.
He hates Eminem
at all. I hate Eminem. I hate him.
That's a strong
I
word.
wish he never like every time I see those Facebook things, like, whose music would you go your whole entire life? But if Eminem's not a choice, I'll make him a choice. I can't listen to that. I can't. Who wants to? Like, no. Only person I want to hear do that is Busta Rhymes. Barely. But no, I do not play it. I never got in the car and somebody be like, yo, put that Eminem on. If someone did that, I'm opening the door in traffic.
You just be sitting there getting wet to find your love and all that shit. That's why you don't hear that.
Hey, yeah, I do want to find my love.
No. Not this way.
I was trying to throw up a softball to Eric, but he didn't take it.
Crazy. But let's move on.
I think that's
I mean, the other topic is J. Cole playing basketball.
We mentioned
it wasn't great.
Straight.
Yeah.
It
wasn't great.
I don't know
he's
why
not
he's not a professional
athlete,
basketball
though,
player.
right?
No, but he did play for St. John's. Wasn't he on a basketball scholarship?
Yeah, he was a walk-on.
He might have played 2 games for fucking St. John's.
You know who I did hear is pretty nice is Lil Durk. Like, apparently he's like the best rapper basketball player.
All right, I don't think. All right, see now, I don't think he'll beat J. Cole.
Lil Durk?
Yes.
Have you seen? I don't think you want to take that bet.
You're comparing a sucky J. Cole playing in a professional league versus street ball.
I don't think you want to take that bet.
I'll take that bet.
Lil Durk has played with NBA players, I think. I think he's like a Cam. Like, Cam could have played more professional, but he chose the street. Lil Durk, I believe, is in the same exact category.
Dicky, so could have this, so could have that.
I mean,
Quavo didn't play basketball; he played football.
But he plays basketball too.
Hold on, can I say something? Like, okay, like
he was better at football than basketball.
Like athletes and shit like that, you don't live off of could've. It's like either you did or you didn't. To me,
yeah.
Like, but I do understand what you're saying. Like, if he's playing with this type of talent pool and he's holding his own, you got to consider him like, okay, maybe he could be better than this dude, you know?
I would bet on Lil Durk over J. Cole.
I don't know. I haven't seen him in the same environment, so I'm not going to say that.
I would bet on Lil Durk over J. Cole.
But
When did you see Little Dirk play basketball?
But at the same time,
I'll bet your Tesla money on that.
Bet it.
you don't have my Tesla money. Anyway.
Not
Anyway.
yet. You speaking like that, I will never have it.
We don't have a contract, so
good.
And you're not Joe Budden, so cut all that shit out. Anyway,
good.
But like, I'm not gonna sit here and shit on him and say like, oh, he did terrible, whatever. He's not a professional athlete, so it's like
it's his first game. You got to give him.
He's lucky to have like against real live professional athletes who train day in and day out and make this shit their job. He's lucky to score any fucking points, let alone 3 of them. So, like, it's real easy for us to say like,
yeah, we don't play basketball.
Get a 3-pointer or whatever have you. Like, yeah, right. Like we're armchair quarterbacks. Like,
there's people that
be lucky if we get a
NBA
touch.
and score 0 points, like, and they thought they
could have got to the NBA.
Did y'all see that Kwame Brown thing?
This is the thing that blows my mind about fans. They're quick to call somebody a bum, but you got to realize, like, the last person on an NBA bench would probably kill all of us in basketball. Like, he still got to the NBA. He has to have some type of talent that got him to the NBA. I saw a video again of Brian Scalabrine. Everybody knows who Brian Scalabrine is. Like,
yeah,
he destroyed this high school kid. And you know what the kid said? He was like, and he told the kid, he's like, okay, I may not be close to LeBron, but as far as you're concerned, this is as close to LeBron as you're going to get. Right. Like, he destroyed this kid with no problem.
I need
he's
that link.
Old and fat. Like, imagine what he could do to us. And it's easy for us, like, oh, he a bum. He ride the bench or whatever have you. He'll fucking kill us.
I need that link.
I'll show you. He fucking destroyed that kid. Easily.
My thing with Scalabrine was never bad. Like, I would even think that. I would never.
He wasn't.
Specialist.
Brian Scalabrine, your days are marked.
If you have a ready... Imagine you just challenge Brian Scalabrine on our podcast. We need to. He has an Instagram, right? Can somebody clip this and send this to him?
I'll DM you right now, Brian.
You're not even in shape for that, bro.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Okay, but you got to
I don't
realize
like how you said that.
He had an NBA ready skill. Like, he could shoot 3-pointers. Like, I don't think people realize if you have an NBA ready skill, you're better than probably 85% of the human population, maybe. I don't know. Like,
I mean, I'm really curious. I mean, this is kind of strange. Not really strange, right?
Here we go.
Relax. I'm really curious to see what Bronny does.
Oh, LeBron James' son.
Mm-hmm. I'm really curious to see what he does.
I hope he does well, because I would assume it's very hard all for the kids of any son.
Basketball players? Huh? Like all the kids of any basketball player? Do you care about Zaire?
Are you saying that?
Like, who do you?
Yeah, absolutely. Zaire's another one. That's another one I think he's going to kill.
Oh, I thought you just meant like athletically speaking.
Well, I think Bronny has a lot of potential. Zaire, oh my God. I don't think the NBA is ready. Who's the other one? Mikey Davis? They all look alike too. They all have the same. Have y'all seen high school kids lately? They all literally have the same haircut. I'm like, didn't I just see you?
Every single high school kid, like
every group of kids have the same exact haircut, and it's like there's
that
no
shaggy,
originality.
The
shaggy little,
the LaMelo Ball special.
Yes,
that's what I call it. Every kid looks like LaMelo Ball.
They all of them.
Didn't I just see you?
Yeah, didn't I just see you, boy? And then they're all like 6'2", and I'm like, all right, man.
Not even in high school. They're like 6'9" minimum. Like, they're all like lanky, and they all wear braces.
So y'all all play ball, please. Can I have your knees?
They're all like.
All right, I don't want to get canceled. I'm sorry.
Again, I've been ganked out of a thought by BJ. I don't even want to continue the conversation.
Yeah, this is mad random. This is not at all what we were.
We gotta
supposed
put
to
that
do.
on a shirt.
Another episode with the crazy shit. What, bro? What?
Oh my God!
We gotta put that on a shirt. Can I have your knees?
Yo. Oh man,
Have your knees.
it must be a full night tonight because it's
Full
Wait,
night?
when the
crazy
Super Bowl?
today.
There's supposed to be a
There's
Super
a
Bowl.
lot of it's too much stuff going on today.
I think I'm gonna buy a telescope. This has nothing to do with anything. Y'all have any? Y'all have any final thoughts?
Well,
The Knicks are in
if
the
I could say,
playoffs.
no, go ahead.
Good day.
Yes.
That is pretty great. I'm the biggest Knicks fan in the world. I never ever said I was a Raptors fan anywhere. If you see anything else, that's a lie. It's a lie. That's
No, bro.
someone may say they have a picture, and he might be in this group, and he's a liar. And he's fired if he ever releases
Get a little screenshot.
He's
Fire
fired.
nobody.
He's
I'm just
fired.
here so I won't get fined.
But yeah, I mean, I have no final. Wait, do I have final thoughts? No, I don't have any final thoughts. I'll save it. I don't have any thoughts at all. I don't think.
You don't think? Got it.
Yeah. Eric.
Final thoughts.
Yeah.
Stay woke.
Stay woke.
Stay woke. Yeah, I knew you was gonna say yeah.
Effing
Wow.
woke, my people.
I'm waiting to hear Chris's
Take
now.
care of your body, your mind, and your
19
spirit.
million.
You hear me?
In
And
grit
stay
money.
woke.
Save it.
Grit money.
Just
Brothers,
save it.
if you send me your grit money, $19 million in grit money, we would have had this school built by now.
Hold on, we're not going. Listen, we ain't doing this, but I would just say Dr. Umar
We
was
have
on
the
Mark
building.
Lamar Hill's
We got them, boys. We got
Black
them.
News Channel show talking about what he got going on, speaking on relationships and a number of things. So look up Black News Channel.
Don't
Mark
look that
Lamar
up.
Hill,
No.
Dr. Umar
Disclaimer,
Johnson.
don't do
We
it.
all have our
No.
own
No,
opinions.
no.
Hold on. We got our own opinions of this man. But if you're interested in a Pan-Africanist psychologist,
No, child
who's very
psychologist.
educated,
Child.
A hustler.
child psychologist, yeah.
There you go.
Very
HUSTLER.
opinionated as well, who believes in straight up black love. Check out my boy.
Unless it's
Dr. Umar
black gay
Johnson.
love.
All right.
Yeah, we ain't doing that. We
I just
support
want you to
everybody.
know.
Love
I just
to
want you to
everybody.
know that you may not bring your white wife, even though my
Oh, yeah.
kinsman,
That's nobody
Frederick Douglass'
crisis.
second wife, was
No,
in
it's
fact
nobody
white.
crisis. You hear me?
All right, so there's
It's
no
nobody
final
crisis.
Working
I mean,
his beard, he's telling the truth.
thoughts. There's no final thoughts.
No, that was it. That was it.
Hope you guys enjoyed. We had fun.
I had a final thought.
We had fun. Hope you had fun.
Just fuck me. A final thought.
Hey, wait, yo. I'm out of here, bro. No. Cancel.